二度目はない。
I have no idea where to begin with this horse. Let's clarify something. Pekasota Eclair is not necessarily a hard boss in the way that you think he is. Bring the right tools and he'll drop easily enough with little effort. The problem with him is the infamous stalling his AI loves to indulge itself in. Like many of the Zero Series bosses, his patterns are randomized. Pekasota in particular is kinda special because no matter what, his RNG can't be manipulated. Since he's so random, it's very easy to lose your patience with him and he'll free you up. He's a nightmare to speed kill because you can't predict him. Well, that's until today. While I can't tell you what he'll do because that's impossible, I can teach you general behaviors that you as the player can take to better react to his attacks, because at the end of the day, he's a very reactionary boss. There's no definitive way to fight him because there's no telling what he'll do to waste your time. Instead, what I'll teach you are these three main pieces of information: Pekasota's behavior, proper positioning of yourself, and the best tools needed during your offense. Also, this guide will assume you're fighting him in hard weather. In Pekasota's case, if it's raining and winds pushing you back and forth, you're in hard mode weather. Let's kick this off with his behavior. I don't want to sound like a broken record, so you already get the point that he's random. However, you need to maintain a keen eye on his movements, because Pekasota gives a visual cue as to what he'll do. This animation. When he extends his limbs like this, Pekasota's ready to do one of 5 moves in sort of an option select. His Thunder Scepters, Thunder Guillotine, his X skill, a charge attack when he zips around sporadically, or a diagonal dive that locks into your current position. The aftermath of these attacks, minus the X skill, which he's invincible during, are when he's most vulnerable, so these are primarily what you want him to do in order to dish out big damage. I'll explain how to exploit these attacks later, when relevant. Honestly, you're better off just not trying to predict the guy, and simply maintain your focus on his movements. He looks intimidating, but if you just look out for the visual cue and position yourself correctly, all you're really dealing with is a boss who just wants to hog your free time. When your mind's focused on his cues, you've got ample time to react to whatever he's planning to screw you over with. Speaking of positioning, let me brief you on that. You want to mainly stay underneath him, or at least stay within the confines of the brackets I'm showing on screen, to represent healthy spacing. You also want to remain on the center platform, as it's easier to punish him there when he does the right skills. Proper positioning will condition him into moving right into where you need him to be, because if you try to fight him on the edges, you're just asking for a pounding. Fight him on your turf, not his. Use the left and right platform to set up your counterattacks if necessary. As for your tools, Ice Javelin X skill is mandatory if you want to kill this guy with little effort. It combos into itself, and it's best to hit him with it at point blank range, so all of the hits will register for max damage. It's strong enough to rip off like half of a bar. Ice Blade is also a nice alternative, though only if you just want to disrespect him with harder to execute counters. Charged Z-Saber is also your friend for combo starters, and works really well in conjunction with Double Jump. When he flies upward from reacting to one of your attacks, this happens because he's not in proper stance to execute his option select, by the way. A double jump can easily still smack him to start a short combo. Double jump is universally good in this fight, and trivializes him, to be honest. You're basically stripping away most of his advantage with it, as it not only puts the brakes on his stalling, but also saves your ass in emergency situations. So let's get into how to punish his attacks. If he's doing Thunder Scepters, it's best to just attack him after he's thrown them. It's real easy to run into them if you're impatient. You can't get long string combos off this anyway, so easy counter with great damage is to simply Ice Javelin him to the freaking face. Next is his dive. He's most vulnerable here for Ice Blade strats, and it's generally the main reason why you want to be positioned carefully. If you lure him to a favorable spot in your location, your counter will be guaranteed. Again, Ice Blade counter is sort of a high risk, high reward, because it's very easy to misposition yourself and not hit him with the projectile. Still, Ice Javelin will always be the more optimal choice if you just want an easier time. His stab attack is pretty wild and generally tricky to react to. Since it's near instantaneous, this is why you need to maintain some healthy distance and stay centered. If he executes this on further platforms, it's almost impossible to dodge this. If he does this while in the center, it's much easier to punish him with some very damaging combos, like shown here. Do note that if you attempt to Sky Chaser him at the end like this, the timing is ridiculously specific. You risk collision damage, and if you don't want to deal with that, then just let him go by. Thunder Guillotine Punish is fun, though it's also on the risky side, probably the most risky thing here. This is where the weather can really screw you over if you have poor judgment with this punish attempt. I recommend only doing this if the rain is falling straight. Otherwise, the constant pushing will either cause collision damage or fall to your death. Anyway, the devs clearly wanted you to dash under this thing like you're supposed to, but Pegasulta's back is wide open for punishment here. You can net a pretty short but strong and punishing combo here if you're smart with your approach. Obviously, if you fight him in easy weather, this is guaranteed punish with less stress. Honestly, that's about all I can coach you with. This guy has no set in stone way to fight him, and it's all on you. However, let's cover one final thing: junk armor. If you just can't stand this dude, equip the junk armor and you'll have a much easier time if you've mastered the X skill comboing. Junk armor doubles your damage, though halves your defense as a drawback. He can be killed within 5 to 7 seconds if you react accordingly to his option select attacks at the very beginning. Good news for you, I've devised quick kill combos that covers all of these actions, so it's up to you to react and execute them. Do note though that you can still have a second chance at his option select being random, since these aren't one combo kills, but from there you should know what you're doing by now to react to the unexpected. Well, that's all I've got for you today, so just kick back and enjoy these quick kills.